What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, bringing you the brand new episode of the weekly wrestling review. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where I talk about everything that happens in the world of professional wrestling, from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it all. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. On today's show, we got reviews for a couple weeks in March. I'm slowly making my way. I said I was going to. I'm trying. I know a lot of people want me to cover current stuff, but I want to catch up before I do that, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job of catching up. If I release a weekly wrestling review every week, covering it, I'll catch up eventually, but whatever. On today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Lockdown, 2 weeks worth of RAW, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, and Ring of Honor. We have some wrestling news. Total Divas started up again, so I might touch on that. We'll talk about that when I get there, because I don't know if I'm going to be covering it. Like I said, we'll talk about it then. Let's jump right into the show with Lockdown. TNA Lockdown 2014. Of course, TNA with the pay-per-views, only 4 pay-per-views a year, which is good. And this is one of their pay-per-views. I think this is the first pay-per-view they did. Yeah, it is the first one they did this year. And honestly, when I heard about this show, I heard nothing but negative stuff about this show. I'm like, all I heard was like, you had some good matches and you had a bunch of stupid stuff and it sucked and it's typical TNA and blah 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 blah. So going into this, I was like, oh god, it's gonna be one of those shows. It's gonna be the longest 3 hours ever. I'm happy to say it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. People made it out to be like it was fucking awful, like goddamn awful. And it wasn't that. I enjoyed the show for what it was. There was some good stuff. There was some bad stuff, I'm not going to lie. There was one really stupid thing. We'll address that when we go through it. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid show for TNA. Let's start with the opening match. Actually, first I want to talk about Lockdown. I gotta give praise to TNA, finally, because last year they didn't have all cage matches. It was like WWE Hell in a Cell. Like, oh, it's called Hell in a Cell, and all the matches aren't going to be in a Hell in a Cell. It's only going to be a couple. So this year they actually did all the matches in a cage, which I like, because last year I was really disappointed. Like, what, regular matches and then cage matches? Like, what? Lockdown was built on, it's an all steel cage pay-per-view. Like, that's what it is. So they went back with that theme, which I'm super excited about. Hopefully, now all they got to do is just bring back the King of the Mountain match to Slammiversary, and we're fucking good. I'll be a happy fan. But I don't think they'll ever bring back the King of the Mountain match, because like Jeff Jarrett's gone, and like, that was his nickname and stuff, but whatever, that's a whole different whatever. Anyways, Lockdown, first match, we had Great Muta, Sanada, and Yasu coming from Wrestle 1, Japan, taking on Bad Influence and Chris Sabin. This was a pretty good match. I enjoyed seeing the international talent. TNA doesn't ever fucking do this. They've done it a few times, and I think it's turned out good every single time. And I don't know why they don't do it more often. But yeah, like when Liger took on Joe at Bound for Glory, that was cool, even though like Joe destroyed Liger in like 5 minutes or whatever. And then, just the World X Cup stuff and, all these guys that they brought in before. And I think it's good. I'd like to see them bring in more talent, or all this like international talent more often, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Anyways, pretty good match. Muta, Sanada, and Yasu ended up winning. This was pretty much just to showcase Sanada, since, he won the X Division title in that Japan show, which I'm actually excited to see whenever it airs on TNA One Night Only. And Yasu, I've never heard of Yasu or Sanada before this. And I think Yasu got thrown in. Like, I think this was originally just supposed to be Bad Influence versus Muta and Sanada, but they're like, oh, we'll bring in this other Japanese guy. Okay, we'll bring in... What I think was pretty funny is, like, you got Bad Influence and Chris Sabin all on one team, and Of course, as we know now, like, all three of those guys are now no longer with the company. So I just thought that was kind of funny, even though it's sad. But yeah, I don't know. One thing I'll talk about, Great Muta. I don't know if he was in a bad mood, but he just, I don't know. He seemed angry and like he didn't want to be there, and I don't know, just his mannerisms that he gave off just seemed like he didn't want to fucking do this or something. I don't know if there was something that happened backstage, but yeah, he seemed weird. But it's fucking Great Muta. That might just be him. So next match, Samuel Shaw versus Mr. Anderson. This was okay. This was probably the worst match on the show. Their match was, I didn't like it. It sucked, honestly. It was okay. Like I said, Shaw won after Anderson escaped. But Shaw drags Christy through the hole, which I liked because, you know, that hole's there, but like they've never really done anything with it before. So he dragged her through, and then Anderson got back in to save Christy, and then Shaw choked him out and walked out of the cage, and the ref got knocked out, and it was a whole thing. But I liked the ending. I liked it, but the match as a whole, like I said, worst match on the show. Next we had EC3 come out, and of course he was supposed to take on Kurt Angle, but changed plans. Angle was like injured, and so he issued an open challenge. Bobby Lashley accepted the challenge. Super excited to see Lashley in TNA. I was actually thinking about him the other day, and then come to find out, like, you know, I'm talking like back in March when this happened. I was like, I don't know. I saw something and I was thinking about Lashley. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if he like popped up in WWE now, you know. And then he popped up in TNA. I was like, oh shit, you know what? That'll do too. You know, I just want to see Bobby Lashley. I was always a fan of his. So he came in, accepted the open challenge, and he just beat him up. He just beat up EC3. I don't think it was a match. It was just more of a segment. And yeah, so I'm super excited to see Bobby Lashley back in TNA. I think he's going to be doing the UFC, or not UFC, MMA and wrestling thing. But, like, that's the whole reason he left or whatever. Like, Hogan gave him an ultimatum, like, hey, you got to pick one or the other. You can't do both. And he was like, all right, I'll go do MMA. And, you know, now that TNA has this fucking hard-on for MMA stuff, they're like, oh, Lashley, you do MMA and wrestling? Buddy, come over here, bud. Like, whatever. I hope they don't bring back King Mo and Rampage and Tito Ortiz and whoever the fuck else, because, yeah, that was stupid. The one thing I really hated about Bobby Lashley in TNA was this whole thing with Samoa Joe at Bound for Glory, like MMA versus wrestling. That was just a lose-lose situation. I thought it was such a terrible angle, but whatever. We're talking about now. So yeah, Bobby Lashley coming to TNA, awesome. Looking back on like the direction that they went with, I thought this was kind of stupid. Like, it would have been better to like have Willow in this match and take on EC3, and then save Lashley for the Lethal Lockdown match, because like the past, like the impacts after Lockdown, it's all like Willow taking out Rockstar Spud and EC3 and all those guys, and it led to like a tag match Sacrifice. So it's like, why didn't you start that here? You know, why? I don't know. I think that would have been better if like Willow took on EC3 and then you had Lashley like a big surprise for the Lethal Lockdown match, and yeah, I think that would have been a lot better. But it was what it was. So yeah, next you had Manic taking on the debuting Tigre Uno. This was a good match. I really enjoyed this. I'm excited to see more of Tigre Uno. This was an awesome showcase for him. You know, he worked Manic, and they just had a good, fast-paced match. It was just a highlight on the show. I can't say anything but good things. It was just awesome. I enjoyed watching this. And so it was a nice back-and-forth match. X Division looks like it might have some potential with Sonata and Manic, and even though they don't really use Manic, Tigre Uno and Sabin, but Sabin got fired, and like the X Division now is what, Tigre Uno, Sonata, and Zima Ion. Maybe Kenny King. I don't know if they'd throw him in there, but I don't know. the X Division looked like it had potential with like Tigre Uno and Sonata, and then as like a month later, it's like, okay, Saban's gone, Manic's barely used. It's still pretty pathetic, you know. So the only thing I don't like about Tigre Uno, like I like his stuff in the ring and all that, his name. Why Tigre Uno? That's such a stupid fucking name. Tiger One or One Tiger? Like, I think it's so retarded. Like, they couldn't think of anything better than Tiger One. Oh my god, I hate it so much. If he had a better name, I would be all over this guy. He'd be my favorite guy in TNA. But, stupid fucking name. He should have just kept his fucking name coming in. Like, he was called Extreme Tiger coming in. I would have much rather had Extreme Tiger than Tigre Uno. I think it's... Oh, God, I don't know who picked this fucking name, but they need to be fired. Next, we had Gunner and James Storm in a last man standing match. This was a good match. I enjoyed this. I really liked the end where you had the two chairs set up and then Storm got superplexed through them. And it was a solid match. Nothing bad to say. It was good. I enjoyed it. Next, we have Madison Rayne taking on Gail Kim for the Knockouts title. This was a good match as well. I enjoyed this. This is like one of the best women's matches I've seen in some time, like WWE and TNA. And it was just a good match. I enjoyed watching this. Next, we had and Madison won. Next, we had probably... It wasn't a bad match. Whatever, we'll talk about it. Magnus versus Mojo for the TNA World Title. Good match. Magnus wins. It was going good. You know, the match was rocking and rolling and blah, 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 blah. Until the end. You had Abyss come through the ring and hit Joe with Janice. And that allowed Magnus to win. This is probably the only black eye on the show. I don't know, it didn't come off good. I think it sucks, you know, involving Abyss in the storyline. I don't know. I'm happy Abyss is back, but this Abyss fucking sucks. And we'll talk more about it on Impact, but holy shit, his look, the fucking, oh god, it's so fucking stupid. I hate it. Oh man, I almost said I almost want Joseph Park back, but I don't think I hate it that much. But yeah, it was a bad ending, but the match was good. And last but not least, we had the main event, Team Roode, or Team Dixie, consisting of Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, and the Bromance, taking on Team MVP, consisting of the Wolves, MVP, and Willow. Ooh, we'll talk more about Willow in a second, but Lethal Lockdown match, main events. It was a good match. Nothing bad, just a solid match. Once you've seen like one Lethal Lockdown match, you've like seen them all. It's hard for them to do different stuff every year, you know. So it's kind of, if you've seen one Lethal Lockdown match, you've seen them all. This one was not. It wasn't bad, but it was nothing amazing to watch. So yeah, MVP wins after Bully Ray attacks Roode. Because like Dixie brought out a special guest referee. It turns out to be Bully Ray, and then he ended up turning on Dixie and Team Roode and all that, and yeah, allowing Team MVP to win. One thing I want to talk about this main event was hilarious when Willow made his debut or whatever. You know, he jumped off the top of the cage and landed right in the middle of the ring. So what was supposed to happen was Willow was supposed to jump off the cage and land on Team Dixie. But he fell right through the middle and just landed in the ring. I was just laughing my ass off. It was almost as bad as Cody Rhodes doing that moonsault. He got really fucked up. But, yeah, I felt bad for the guy because he dove like fucking woo, just exploded. So overall, I'd have to say it was a good TNA show. I enjoyed watching this. I'd definitely say, well, we've probably, you know, looking back now, like you've probably seen a lot of Tigre Uno, but if you haven't, I'd say the Manic Tigre Uno match is something to check out. The Gunner James Storm match, I think it's worth checking out on Lockdown if you haven't seen it. And that's about it. Everything else was, you don't have to go out of your way to go look at it, but overall, solid show. I enjoyed this. I did. So next we got Raw, and I don't think we're going to talk too much about... Is it this Raw I want to talk about? Okay, it is. So on this show, what did we have? We had Hulk Hogan. He announced the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. What else? You had... I'm looking at if there's stuff I want to talk about. There's one thing I want to talk about specifically, but I'm just looking. No, we don't. Okay, so the one thing that happened on this Raw that I really, really enjoyed, Daniel Bryan comes out and to apologize for the to the authority, whatever. This was the Occupy Raw thing. I enjoyed this segment. I've got to say, the fucking build-up for Triple H and Daniel Bryan at Mania is awesome, especially what they did on the Raw after this one, which we'll talk about. It's fucking awesome. Like, I was looking at the card leading up to Mania, and I'm like, you know, we have all these matches, but I'm only excited for like maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4, but it's like 2 or 3. I'm excited for the Daniel Bryan Triple H match. I'm excited for anything the Shield does, because I like this whole new Shield taking on Kane and stuff. I enjoy this. And that's about it, honestly. Yeah, that's about it. The Undertaker Brock Lesnar thing doesn't really interest me too much. The Bray Wyatt Cena thing, I am not too invested in that storyline whatsoever. And yeah, the only things I was excited for going into Mania is Daniel Bryan Triple H. The feud and build up to this match is excellent. I've got to say, it is excellent. So this is the Occupy Raw thing. You had a bunch of fans in the ring and surround the ring, and it was just awesome. I really, really enjoyed this, but I really enjoyed what they did after, which we'll talk about in a second. So yeah, the Occupy Raw Raw segment, awesome build up to Mania, and then Triple H flipped his shit, and then he agreed to the match with Bryan at Mania. It was awesome. I really enjoyed this. Next we got NXT. Nothing I want to talk about there. Next we got Impact. This was the Impact after Lockdown. What do we want? We want to talk about Brittany. Brand new knockout in TNA. Made her debut here against Gail Kim. The match was okay, but she won after Tappa got involved, and we'll talk more about Lady Tappa and Gail Kim later, but there was that. Rockstar Spud. Holy shit, this guy is the fucking man. I love him. Like, there's a couple of reasons I enjoy watching TNA. He's one of them. His reactions, his face, his facial expressions, what he says, just him being him, his goofy little bow tie, his stupid haircut, the suits he wears, he is fucking gold on TNA. And he was awesome during this show. They had a Dixie Carter appreciation thing, him and EC3. And the two of them together are fucking great. I really like EC3. I love Rockstar Spud. But together, they are pretty fucking amazing. And so they had the thing, the Dixie Carter appreciation thing. And Spud was just amazing in this. I fucking love the guy. He is awesome. What else do we got? Oh, Angelina Love. Let's talk about her. She made her return to TNA. And she came out. She called out Velvet. She was like, hey, Velvet, you know, we should reform the beautiful people. I'm back. You're back. Blah, 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 blah. And Velvet's like, I got to think about it. One thing or a couple things I want to talk about. One, what happened to the alpha male Velvet Sky feud? Because, like, is that over already? The Chris Sabin Velvet Sky alpha female thing? Like, the feud ended in a 6-man tag that happened, or 6-woman tag, whatever. That's how the feud ends? Like, what? Oh my god, it was just so stupid. But, I don't know. I think there's potential to do a little bit more. Even use alpha female a little bit more. You know, your knockouts division is kind of weak sauce. And, yeah, they could have used alpha female a little bit more. They didn't end up doing that. They ended the feud in the UK. And, yeah, so that's over. Of course, Velvet moves on to the Beautiful People. We'll talk about that on the next episode of Raw. Or Impact, I mean. And, yeah. Next we had Willow versus Rockstar Spud. Oh, okay, I don't want to talk about the match so much. I want to talk about Willow, as a character. So, Willow. There's a lot to say about Willow, but, I don't like it. You know, I saw the promo packages, or I've just seen clips on YouTube, like, leading up to Willow, and I've seen some of the stuff that he does on Impact. But now that I finally got to watch it and take it all in, and, oh man, get all that Willow, excuse me, I don't like it. I said I was going to give it a chance before I shit on it. I was already shitting on it going into it, but now that I got to watch it, I'm going to shit on it. I don't like it whatsoever. I think it's dumb. You have him, like, it would be fine if it was, like, 2 different people, but, like, he dresses like Jeff Hardy. All he does is wear a mask, you know? He doesn't do anything to hide his armbands or his shirt or his tattoos. Nothing. Fucking nothing. And then it doesn't help that the announcers are constantly like, oh, Jeff Hardy. Oh, wait, Willow. Oh, it's Jeff Hardy, but he's going through a phase, whatever. I'm like, dude, just bring back Jeff Hardy then. Who gives a shit about Willow? Like, what's going to be the payoff for this whole Willow thing? I don't fucking... But, you know, we just got done through one terrible alter ego storyline thing with Joseph Park and Abyss. I don't want to live through another one. Just get rid of Willow and give us Jeff Hardy. And I think everyone will be happy. Next we got Smackdown. But I don't think there's anything I want to talk about there. Oh, I do. I want to talk about Antonio Cesaro and his freakish strength. God damn. So the Real Americans had a match with Cody and Goldust. And there was a scary moment in the match where Cody went for a a dive. And he almost landed on his head. But Cesaro was just so fucking strong. Caught him. Brought him up. And then ended up slamming him, which sucked. But, you know, saved his life, which was awesome. So Antonio Cesaro just... fucking highlight every time I watch him. Another highlight of the show, which is definitely a highlight of SmackDown, more so than just a highlight, The Shield. I've been loving their storyline. Like, okay, they're gonna break up, and then they don't break up, and then they're a stronger team, and then the whole thing with Kane, and I've been enjoying this, and, you know, eventually the New Age Outlaws got involved, but I love the interactions between them and Kane. It's awesome. I just love it. It's awesome, and I can't say awesome enough. I'm turning into the Miz apparently, but yeah, Shield on SmackDown. I think if they weren't on SmackDown, SmackDown would be a lot harder to watch, honestly. But they're there and they're awesome, and you know, they do their thing. So yeah, that's SmackDown. Next we got Ring of Honor. They just showed more matches from the 12th anniversary show. Next we have Raw again. There's definitely one thing I want to talk about here, and that is the what's it called? The end. Hold on, that's the last segment. I want to see if there's anything I want to talk about before. No, okay, so there's nothing else I want to talk about on this Raw. I just scanned my notes. The only thing I want to talk about is the Triple H, the final segment for this Raw, which was Triple H comes out, talks about Daniel Bryan, says he's throwing a lot at him. Then Stephanie comes out and brings out a bunch of cops. They arrest Daniel Bryan for the whole Occupy movement. And so the cops, cuff him and all that shit. And then Triple H is like, oh, they're not real cops. And then just proceeds to just beat the shit out of Daniel Bryan. And I really enjoyed this whole segment and the beatdown. The beatdown went a little bit long. It was like 10 minutes, but it was worth it. He beat the shit out of him. It would be so awesome if he bled and got some color, and it would just add to that whole thing, like, just the whole storyline. Triple H just beating him up, taking advantage of him in the cuffs. And one thing I would have liked to seen in this whole thing was Brie Bella get involved. Like, okay, she got involved when he was feuding with Orton, and she got, like, involved that one time, but getting this brutal fucking beatdown by Triple H and shit, she doesn't come out? Like, what the fuck? And, she could have some interaction with Stephanie where it's like, hey, don't fucking come down here. Or you just have to sit and watch. You can't do anything. Just sit and watch your husband get beat up. But they didn't get her involved. I think it would have added a little bit more. Well, it would have added a lot if he bled and they got Brie. Yeah, Brie. I was thinking Nikki. But I really enjoy this. Just beat the fucking dog shit out of Daniel Bryan. Especially the opening thing. Just dragged him out. Fucking dropped him right on his face. I felt bad for the guy, but it was pretty brutal. Next we got NXT. Nothing I want to talk about here either. It wasn't an eventful couple weeks for NXT. NXT be slacking. Mainly they were building toward, like, the next episode of NXT after this. I think it's like a pay-per-view again, or a mini pay-per-view. I don't know. They're hyped up a lot of matches. The rematch between Adrian Neville and Bo Dallas. I think Corey and Sami Zayn. An NXT women's match. Tyler Breeze and Xavier Woods. They hyped up a bunch of matches, so I don't know if it was a pay-per-view or whatever, but I'll have to wait to find out. So, yeah. Next we got Impact. Oh shit, this is a segment I want to talk about. Gunner comes out and talks about Lockdown, and he has his dad in the crowd. And then James Storm comes out, and he looks like a fucking heel. Just his facial hair, that red shirt, he just came off as such a heel. I loved it. And he comes out, talks shit to Gunner's dad, and until Gunner snaps and attacks Storm, he gets super kicked. And Storm handcuffs him to the ropes, and then his dad comes out. Gunner's dad comes to help Gunner, and then James Storm grabs a beer bottle and smashes it over Gunner's head. This was great. I enjoy this. One complaint I had about this was Gunner himself. He's there in the ropes. He's tied up, and he just watches his dad get smashed in the head with the bottle. He seemed so, like, he didn't give a shit. Like, he's like, oh, I hope he's okay. Like, he didn't show any emotion. If he showed emotion, this just would have made it so much better. If he wanted to fucking kill Storm, he just bashed a beer bottle over your dad's head and you're not angry? Like, what? So, yeah, his reaction was shit. It killed this a little bit. Because, like, oh my god, like, he just, super kicked you, tied you up, beat up your dad, talked shit to him, beer bottle, and it's like, it's another day for you, So if he showed a little bit more emotion, it would have been great. If they did this build-up leading up to Lockdown, I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's go, Gunner, Storm, this is awesome. But they're doing it after, and then they're going to continue the feud to Sacrifice, but yeah. Next we had, what else? Angelina Love. Velvet comes out to give her answer. They reform the Beautiful People, and then they're like, hey, what about Madison? And Madison's like, I'm not going to join the Beautiful People. And then, like, Angelina attacks her backstage, whatever. I want to talk about this, because a few months ago, I talked about this rinse and repeat thing that TNA does with the knockouts, where they, they have a little thing, and then they bring in an old knockout, and then, she gets involved in the feud, and then she ends up becoming champion. Now, if this isn't fucking, more evidence towards that, I don't know what is. They did it with Gale. They did it with Madison Rayne. They've done it with Tara. They've done it with so many people. And they just did it again with Angelina Love. Comes back, reforms the beautiful people, blah, blah, blah. Champion. Less than a month. Just remember, they bring them back. Champ, less than a month. Fucking Madison, she came, debut, or return, whatever. Less than a month, she became Knockouts champion. They did it with Velvet Sky. She returned, blah, blah, blah. Became champion. I wonder who's next. Who's going to be the next knockout to make her return and become champion again. I'm going to call Brooke Tessmacher or Tara. Those are my two. Or even Mickie James. But I think she's pregnant now. But I think she'll probably come back eventually. Look at those three to come back soon and become Knockouts champion again. So, yeah. So beautiful people back. I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I think it's not going to be like it once was, I think they're trying to rekindle that magic, but I don't think it's going to be the same. But we'll have to wait and find out. This was the episode that they started doing the stuff for Nux and, his dad and his chick and the carnival and blah, blah, blah. Of course, we all know it leads to the menagerie. And that's on whatever. I don't know. I just saw what they did last night on TNA with Crazy Steven Kazarian. That looked fucking awful. That looked like a complete train wreck. So I don't know what they have planned for the menagerie, whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it. Doesn't even matter. The only thing they got going for them is Rebel is fucking hot as shit. She's got such a nice ass. And, yeah, that's about it. But, so yeah, that's TNA. Next we got Smackdown. Something I wanted to talk about. Fandango just gets thrown in all these fucking random matches. So, on the Raw before this, the one with the whole fake cop thing, random match. Hey, Fandango versus Goldust. Okay, whatever. Even though it probably would have been smarter to put Cody over instead of Goldust, but whatever. They have like a 7-minute match. A lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Goldust beats Fandango. And then on the SmackDown, okay, Fandango in action again. Who's he going to take on? He's going to take on Fernando from the Los Matadors. What? That is the most random fucking person you could pick. Fernando from the Los Matadors. Yes. He took on Fandango in a one-on-one match. And he beat him. So I don't know. That was fucking random. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. First Goldust, then Fernando. Fucking Fernando from the Los Matadors. I don't know. It's fucking weird. What else do we got? Just more build-up towards WrestleMania, I'm surprised how much they've been building up the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. I didn't expect them to do it at all. I just expected, okay, I'm in the Battle Royale, and I'm in the Battle Royale, and blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what they've been doing, but they've kind of been like here they did the Miz TV, and a bunch of participants came out, and it led to a big brawl. And yeah, that was kind of cool, but nothing. Honestly, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, they did some build-up, which I did not expect. Next we got Ring of Honor. We had Team Benchmark, which I've been hearing a lot about. These guys were in the top prospect tournament, and then they dropped out, and I don't know. I think Ring of Honor sees a lot of some potential in this gimmick, Team Benchmark. I think it's a guy and he has a little lackey, but I'm gonna have to see more because I don't know what they see. They took on Hanson and Raymond Rowe. It was an okay match. Raymond and Hanson won. What else? You had Kevin Steen. Oh, I want to talk about this because I don't know what the fuck this is gonna lead to. So you had Kevin Steen come out. And he immediately gets interrupted by Outlaw Inc. Outlaw Inc. comes out, hey, Kevin, you should join us, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're scum. Become an outlaw. And he's like, you know what? Nah, I don't feel like joining you guys. Whatever. It leads to a match between Homicide and Steen. Pretty good, whatever. Steen wins by DQ. After the match, Outlaw Inc. jumps Kevin Steen. And then Cliff Compton comes out and makes the save. What? So apparently Cliff Compton's going to be a regular member of the Ring of Honor roster. I have no idea where this is leading to. You know, they had their match at the 12th anniversary show. It was what it was. It was the unsanctioned main event that shouldn't have been that. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Steen's going to have this match, destroy Cliff Compton. We're never going to see Cliff Compton again. And, hey, here he is. So, I don't know what they got planned here. Is Cliff Compton going to be in Ring of Honor more? What's he going to do with Steen? I don't fucking know. Next, we had Nigel McGuinness come out and announce another ladder war match for Super Card of Honor between Jay Briscoe and Adam Cole. I'm excited to watch that. I think that's going to be... No, is it? I think it's... I don't know if I'm going to review it on the next episode, because it's on the same weekend as WrestleMania, which we're not going to be reviewing on the next show. It's going to be the show after, I think. Hold on, let me check my calendar, because it's on April 6th. So, okay, the next show is going to be the 23rd to the 29th. Okay, so the next show, yeah, the next weekly wrestling review, we're not going to be reviewing Mania. Sadly, the show after that will be the Mania review and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to see Ladder War. I don't know which one it is, but Jay Briscoe, Adam Cole, Ladder War. It should be interesting. I'm excited. And then the main event was Jay Lethal versus Tommaso Ciampa for the Ring of Honor TV title. Good match. Ciampa wins. So yeah, that's that. Next we have Total Divas. I debated whether or not I was going to talk about this. I was just like, you know, I don't know if I want to talk about this. I don't know. I can't really review it or talk about it. It's just, it is what it is. You know, Summer Rae's involved now, and she comes off as a complete bitch, and I hate her, and she's snobby and stuff, and I don't know. It was just a whatever episode. You know, you had stuff with, like, John Cena and Nikki Bella and Eva Marie and her parents and getting married and blah. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be talking about Total Divas on the Weekly Wrestling Review. I mean, I watch it and I enjoy it, but I don't know if it's something I'm going to talk about. You know, like, what's there to talk about? Oh my god, did you see Summer Rae's dress? Oh, it was fabulous. And then she slapped Natalya in the face, you know. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be reviewing the Total Divas shows. I'm just going to be watching them, making my comments whenever. And yeah, so. If something crazy happens, then I will talk about it. But I don't think I'm going to be doing like a weekly review. Like, oh, this episode of Total Divas, this happened. And I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy this, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know, unless people want to hear it, then I might talk about it, but for now, I have no plans on covering Total Divas Season 2 anymore. So, that's it for the reviews. We have just like two or three news things. First, Lady Tapa, no longer a part of TNA. She got released, and I'm honestly surprised she lasted as long as she did. I remember when she showed up on the Gut Check, she's terrible, honestly. And she was very, very green, and just seemed like she had no experience in the I can't believe she won over Ivelisse, but, you know, they picked her because she's got a unique look. She's a bigger woman. You know, they thought they were going to recapture Amazing Kong, but that's not going to happen again. And yeah, so she's finally gone. I'm kind of glad, because she was pretty terrible. I remember she had some matches with Velvet Sky. Holy shit, they were awful. And so yeah, you know, she broke up with Gail Kim. That's done, and she's now gone from TNA. So sad to see that she loses her job, but you know, good, very, very good. And last but not least, Rey Mysterio. There was a lot of rumors that like Rey Mysterio, that he had heat with the Office, and like how many more years does Mysterio have under his contract, and you know, is he going to be healthy enough to carry out those dates and blah blah blah, and is he going to jump over to AAA and that Mexican promotion? And he came out and made it pretty clear that he has no plans on leaving WWE, and says he wants to end his career in WWE because that's his home. So very surprising words. I thought the complete opposite, honestly. When I think Rey Mysterio, I think you know, a guy that's probably going to be gone soon, but apparently he wants to stay. But you know what? More power to him. So I thought that was pretty interesting that he's choosing to stay over, you know, lots of rumors that he was going to leave and stuff, and you know, WWE might not sign him and all that. But I don't, they might still not sign him, but yeah, he's a good ambassador. Like what Great Khali is for India, Mysterio would be good for Mexico, even if he stops wrestling. So that'd be cool. So yeah, that's it for the news. That's it for the show, honestly. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Come back next time where we got reviews for 2 weeks worth of Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. I don't think there's any pay-per-views that I'm going to be reviewing on the next episode. So yeah, that'll be, hopefully it's a quick turnaround for the next episode to come out. And then, of course, the episode after that, we're going to be reviewing Supercard of Honor, WrestleMania, and all that stuff. So, slowly but surely, I am catching up. And yeah, so I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch me next time. Until then, guys, peace out.